Picture this. You're scrolling, absent-mindedly, almost automatically, when suddenly your thumb stops. Not because of a flashy headline, not because of a staged photo shoot, but because of one quiet image that feels different. No noise, no explanation. Just a full-body selfie and an overwhelming thought spreading across the internet. This doesn't feel real. On December 19th, Jin shared a mirror selfie on Weverse. No warning, no caption trying to guide how people should feel. And somehow that made it even more powerful. He stood there wearing LO, the American lifestyle brand he represents globally. Simple, clean, effortless. But nothing about the reaction was simple. His face, astonishingly small, almost delicate, leaned slightly toward the mirror. A long, graceful neck. Shoulders broad and steady. Lines that flowed naturally from posture to silhouette. Long legs stretching down, casually grounded in nothing but socks. A body proportion so balanced it felt sculpted, yet undeniably alive. People didn't just admire it. They paused. Because this wasn't a pose begging for attention. It was confidence that didn't need permission. Then came the detail that sent chills through the fandom. To avoid revealing any spoilers about his schedule, objects in the background were erased, triggering an AI-generated content label on his Samsung Galaxy device. A technical mark, a small digital notice. And suddenly, irony took center stage. Because the one thing everyone agreed on was this. If this were AI, it wouldn't look like this. AI can mimic symmetry, it can calculate proportions, it can polish skin and sharpen lines, but it can't recreate presence. It can't replicate the quiet authority of someone who knows exactly who they are. It can't manufacture the softness and strength existing at the same time. It can't fake that feeling. When something is so visually perfect, it becomes emotionally overwhelming. That's why the title Visual King doesn't feel like exaggeration anymore. It feels like acknowledgement. And yet, this moment wasn't just about visuals, because behind that single photo stands a year that quietly changed everything. While the internet was falling apart over one selfie, Jin had already been making history, step by step, city by city, stage by stage. Through his first ever solo fan concert and world tour, Run Sok Jin Tour, Runzio K Jining Morai Tour, Jin achieved a record no one could ignore. He became the highest-grossing Asian soloist on Polestar's global concert tour Top 20, ranked by average box office revenue per city. Let that sink in. First solo tour, first solo fan concert, and already rewriting industry benchmarks. This wasn't momentum built over decades. This was impact built on trust. In July, history repeated itself, this time on Billboard. Jin topped the Billboard Top Tour monthly chart, becoming the highest-grossing Asian soloist ever to do so. Then in August, he entered the chart again, securing another unprecedented record as the Korean solo artist with the highest European tour revenue in Billboard history. But numbers only tell part of the story. What truly speaks volumes is who paid attention. Rolling Stone called it unforgettable. Forbes analyzed its cultural weight. Paris Match highlighted its emotional reach. Different languages, different markets. Same conclusion. Jin's tour wasn't just commercially successful, it was deeply human. Fans didn't leave just remembering songs. They left remembering how they felt. And now, those feelings are about to be preserved forever. On December 27th, Run Sok Jin Episode Tour the movie will be released worldwide, capturing the raw, emotional atmosphere of his Goyang fan concert from last June. Every smile, every pause, every glance exchanged between artist and audience. In Korea, the film will screen exclusively at CGV starting December 31st, transforming personal memories into a collective experience. Which brings us back to that selfie, because suddenly it feels like more than just a photo. It feels like a symbol of an artist who doesn't chase attention, yet commands it effortlessly. Of a presence so authentic that technology can only label it, never replicate it. Of a year where visuals, talent, sincerity, and connection aligned perfectly. In a world racing toward artificial perfection, Jin quietly reminded everyone of something powerful. Some beauty isn't generated. Some success isn't engineered. Some impact doesn't need explanation. It just exists. And when it does, the world stops scrolling.